Welcome to Our India News Hour. Today, protecting against phishing and scamming is of paramount importance. There are scammers who are ever ready to use remote tools maliciously and attack. As IT departments transition to becoming virtual help desks, some of the biggest challenges they face is around security. Rescue offers multiple layers of security that have become more important in today's unique world as companies look to close out any potential opportunities for scammers to take malicious action against their end users. The phishing attack can start with an SMS message to the victim's phone. For example, a suspicious payee had been added to one's account or there has been a suspicious transaction on the account. The SMS linked to a fake bank login page that allowed the attackers to grab the victim's username and password, which the attacker used to log into the legitimate login page. That login sent a genuine one-time password, that is OTP, to the victim's phone. Once the victim enters the OTP, the attacker has full access to the bank account. Phishing is a big business. Attackers have shown record growth in recent years, and a solid security awareness program is an integral part of any defense in-depth strategy. Phish Threat provides you with the flexibility and customization that your organization needs to facilitate a positive security awareness culture. Let's look into today's headlines in India. Bitcoin rises to $61,074 for the first time, continued its record-breaking run. Bitcoin, the world's #1 virtual cryptocurrency, rose 6.64% to $61,073.71 for the first time on Saturday, adding $3,802.67 to its previous close. The cryptocurrency hit an all-time high of $60,012 at 11:49 GMT according to the website CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin is picking up momentum once again, reclaiming a record amid optimism that the largest digital token will achieve wider adoption at the global level. Selling PSU banks to corporates is a colossal mistake, says Raghuram Rajan. As the public sector financial institution workers go on a 2-day strike from Monday to protest towards the privatization of state-run lenders, they have a formidable ally in ex-RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan. Rajan, in an interview to PTI, forged doubt on the profitable privatization of inefficient public sector banks and added that if they are offered to corporates, that shall be a colossal mistake. He further said that, "I feel it will be a colossal mistake to promote the banks to industrial homes, including that it will even be politically infeasible to promote any decent-sized financial institution to overseas banks." PCMC not to pay damages, Tech Mahindra is in soup. The way cybercrime is impacting the whole world, including India, nearly every industry is at risk, and how the Smart City project can get escaped. In a recent case, Tech Mahindra, that manages the Smart City project servers of Chinchwad Smart City project, fell victim of a ransomware attack. Now, the attackers have demanded a ransom to be paid in bitcoins. The attack happened on February 26th, and a criminal offence in connection with this has been registered at Nigdi police station on March 9. While the company has lodged a complaint estimating a loss of ₹5 crores to Municipal Corporation, Rajesh Patil has conveyed to the firm that the civic body will not absorb the costs. The political parties are demanding action against Tech Mahindra in connection with the ransomware attack. Government to sell remaining stake in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad airports. The government plans to sell its residual stake in already privatized Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore and Hyderabad airports as part of the ambitious ₹2.5 lakh crore asset monetization pipeline identified to raise additional resources. Sale of Airport Authority of India's remaining stake in the 4 airports and also 13 more airports have been identified for privatization in 2021-22 fiscal. Sources said the issue is likely to go to the cabinet for approval in the next few days. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had last month said the government is targeting monetizing 100 assets such as oil and gas pipelines, which can draw a massive ₹2.5 lakhs. About 10,000 people at Facebook are working on AR and VR. A report states nearly 10,000 Facebook employees, that 1/5 of Facebook's total workforce worldwide, are working on augmented reality and virtual reality devices. In a recent interview, Mark Zuckerberg, CEO, said, "It marks sense of us to invest deeply to help shape what I think is going to be the next major computing platform. Teams dedicated to research, development, manufacturing, communications, public relations, all of the tapping required of a company of Facebook's size may likely be in play in the 10x count. This would also include projects like Portal, its development into AI, and even first-party VR game studios like Sanzaru, Beat Games, and Ready at Dawn." Microsoft is investigating on the information provided by Taiwanese researchers. Microsoft Corp is investigating whether hackers who attacked its email system exploited the findings of Taiwanese researchers who were the first to alert the software company to the vulnerabilities. DevCore, a small firm based in Taipei City, specializes in discovering computer security flaws. It was the first to alert Microsoft on the vulnerabilities. Microsoft is focusing on understanding if DevCore may have been compromised or in some way tipped off attackers that the patch was in the pipeline. DevCore had earlier informed Microsoft about the bugs. Government never threatened staff of social media platforms with jail term, says IT Ministry. The government has never threatened employees of any social media platforms such as Twitter of jail term, the IT Ministry has said. While reacting to the reports that alluded to Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter employees being threatened with jail term, the ministry said social media platforms are obliged to follow the laws of India and the Constitution of India, just like all other businesses in India have to. The government welcomes criticism and dissent, it said, adding that platforms must follow Indian laws. Google tracks and collecting data even when people use incognito mode on Chrome browser. An US District Judge, Lucy Koh, in the state of California, denied Google's request to dismiss a lawsuit alleging that it secretly collects data even if users browse in incognito mode to keep their search activity private. The judge has directed Google to face a class action lawsuit seeking $5 billion that claimed it is tracking and collecting data even when people use incognito mode on Chrome browser. The lawsuit said Google knows that the most intimate and potentially embarrassing things you browse on the internet, regardless of whether you follow Google's advice to keep your activities private. CAIT seeks restoration of MSME status for 8 crore traders in the country. The Confederation of All India Traders has demanded restoration of MSME status taken away in 2017 from 8 crore retail and wholesale traders who are part of the service industry. In June 2017, the government removed them from the MSME category, forcing them to either borrow at a higher rate or from informal financial sources, CAIT Secretary General Praveen Khandelwal said. Sanjay Goel appointed as the Executive VP and President of Asia Pacific region in American Tower. American Tower Corporation has appointed Sanjay Goel as Executive Vice President and President, Asia Pacific, succeeding Amit Sharma, who will serve as Chairman of the company's Asia Pacific region and as Special Advisor to the CEO until his retirement on July 1st of 2021. Goel joins American Tower from Nokia, where he most recently served as President of the Global Services Business Group and Nokia Operations. Goel has over 30 years of diverse business leadership experience and has held a number of positions in Asia and Europe. Summing up, as we see the consumer-focused attack techniques, these can quickly and easily be adapted to be used to attack enterprises. For example, last year's Twitter hack used a very similar technique to the banking credential attack, but this time the target was the account takeover of high-profile victims. Once the attackers gained access to an employee's account, they were able to move literally and get access to the tools used to manage Twitter user accounts. This gave them the means to hijack the public Twitter accounts of high-profile celebrities. Employees possess credentials and overall knowledge that is critical to the success of a breach of the company's security. One of the ways in which an intruder obtains this protected information is via phishing. The purpose of phishing is to collect sensitive information with the intention of using that information to gain access to otherwise protected data, networks, etc. A fisher's success is contingent upon establishing trust with its victims. We live in a digital age and gathering information has become much easier as we are well beyond the dumpster driving ways. To help businesses better understand how they can work to avoid falling victim to phishing attacks, we at War India have asked a number of security experts to share their view on the most common ways that companies are subjected to phishing attacks and how businesses can prevent them. And we have formed a WhatsApp group by the name Eminent CIOs of India, where all the members share their best practices related to the cyber security. That's it for the day. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to War India News Magazine. You can download the War India app from Google Play Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.